Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today we are talking about Foregone, the latest studio album and the 14th overall from Swedish metal icons In Flames. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Swedish death metal, melodic death metal, pioneers and poster boys responsible for classic records like The Jester Race, Horacle, Colony, and Clayman have returned with a brand new studio album. And the hype is pretty real. In Flames have been releasing tons and tons of singles over the course of the past year, building up a lot of anticipation for this record. Still, though, I couldn't help but approach this record with a genuine caution, hesitancy, because as much as I love those classic records, they were released a long time ago, and what In Flames has been doing since a long time ago is not consistently wonderful. I mean, some of it's been solid. Like, I kind of vibe with that mid-2000s era of In Flames, records like Reroute to Remain and Come Clarity. I think that they're actually very solid. But from Come Clarity onwards, it really does get worse and worse and worse and worse. I mean, what an absolutely insane step down in quality from record to record to record, with flops like Sounds of a Playground Fading, Siren Charms, Battles, I the Mask, the almost offensive Clayman 2020 EP. And no, before someone says it, my issue with these records isn't that, In Flames changed their sound or sold out or were no longer a true metal band or whatever the hell. My issue with these records is they were badly written, badly constructed, badly produced, badly executed. Long story short, I guess I was pumped for the album, but at the same time I was also kind of not pumped for the album. I approached it with an open mind and an open heart, with genuine optimism, but probably the most cautious, genuine optimism imaginable, conceivable. And I'm happy I did, ladies and gentlemen, because Foregone is actually pretty good. It's not amazing, it's not perfect, it's not incredible, it's not the album of the year, but it is pretty good. And considering what we've dealt with over the past 15 years, considering the slop that In Flames has normally served us, I'll happily eat up pretty good like it's a 5-star fucking meal at a Las Vegas steakhouse. Sonically speaking, this thing fits firmly within the realms of records like Clayman and Reroute to Remain, and as such is packed mostly with what people like about those records and what people, I feel for the most part, have been wanting out of In Flames since those records. The record is tight, crisp, punchy, it doesn't waste any time whatsoever, there's very little fat or filler to speak of, it's crammed with twin guitar melodies and harmonies and gutturals and that classic Gothenburg mellow-def sheen. You've got State of Slow Decay, for instance, which is fast, vicious, grim, sinister, stark, all the energies and vibes and riffs that I've wanted to hear from In Flames for a very long time now. There's also some cool, subtle little morsels of synthesizer here and there that add a little bit of extra gravitas and scale to all of this. The chorus is surprisingly very effective, definitely channeling like some Come Clarity era like melodic metalcore melodicism and such. Then there's The Great Deceiver, which at first goes even faster and goes even harder, but through some of the subsequent verses kind of switches things up with, little bits of punky rage and enthusiasm, or even like some classic mellow def rage, or even some straight up death metal brutality. A lot of really cool epic guitar noodling here as well. I mean, this thing is filled with riffs and licks for days on end. It's an all-you-can-eat guitar pyrotechnics buffet. In an interesting little twist, the double whammy of Foregone Part 1 and 2 feels like a culmination of ideas that In Flames have toyed around with over the course of the past 20 years. Like, Foregone Part 1 is fast and intense and filled with more over-the-top guitar pyrotechnics in the vein of what we would expect from Clayman, or even something like Colony, to be honest. Whereas Foregone Part 2 is a little bit moodier, it's a little slower, it's a little more dramatic and evocative, championed by some really, really great clean vocals from Anders Frieden. It almost feels like something I might have heard on Siren Charms or I the Mask, but just simply executed way better. Expanding on that note, I'd like to add that this is probably the best that Anders Frieden has sounded on any album in quite some time. His gutturals and his cleans are 110% on point. In fact, clean-wise, this is the best he has ever sounded. His clean vocals are so good on this album that he's even able to salvage more lackluster numbers like Bleeding Out and Pure Light of Mind. Major props have to also be given to Bjorn Gillette and Chris Broderick, the two of which have insane chemistry together on lead and rhythm guitar. They just absolutely knock it out of the park consistently with tons of great riffs, tons of great harmonies, tons of great solos. Love the use of acoustic guitar across this album, especially on like the acoustic breakdown of In the Dark and, you know, the intro track in the beginning of All Things, which evokes a kind of atmosphere I expect of the Jester race. If In Flames is smart, they will make sure not to pull a Dave Mustaine. They will make sure not to restrain anything Chris does. They will let his freak flag fly, and they will keep him around as long as goddamn possible. I do think this album is a little front-heavy, with the first half being stronger than the second half. I will also say that In Flames' decision to release basically half the album in advance you know, promotional singles and such has kind of backfired, as some of these songs have lost a little bit of their luster in context of a full-blown studio album. But hey, fuck it. Like I told you before, it's not perfect, it's not incredible, but it's really, really, really fucking good. It's the best In Flames have been in a while, and, you know, I'll take this any day of the week, even at its worst, over Siren Charms, over Battles, over Clayman 2020. I'm not sure what exactly inspired In Flames to finally return to the glory days of their sound, of their career. I don't know if it was Chris Broderick. I don't know if it was the existence of the halo effect. I don't know, maybe revisiting Clayman through Clayman 2020 kind of lit something in them. I don't know, but whatever it is, thank fucking Lord. Very solid 3.5 out of 5. Maybe leaning towards a 4 if it were just a little more consistent throughout. I do understand and acknowledge that there is a decent population of people who really do enjoy the post-sense of purpose output, and good for them, but fuck y'all. This is what I've wanted for a long time. This is easily the strongest album that In Flames has put out since A Sense of Purpose, not even up for fucking debate with me. I have no idea what the future holds for In Flames. I don't know if this is a one-off, if In Flames will return to the dreadful sounds of their 2010s output. But I do know that this is a damn good album, and I am seriously hoping that this paves a path for In Flames to reclaim the throne atop Mellow Death Mountain. Very solid 3.5 out of 5 once again, leaning towards a 4. It's good. It's actually really good, folks. Definitely check it out. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I'm not an expert, nor do I claim to be. So what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Make sure you press subscribe right here so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown fucking immediately. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.